It seems like avatar images are playing a bigger role in the web these days, especially in the more social web apps. And if you're wanting to add avatar images to your app, you might want to consider using Gravatar. Now, Gravatar is a convenient way to provide user avatar images, and all you need is a user's email address. You don't have to worry about file attachments or providing a way for them to crop their avatar image, or you don't have to worry about users uploading inappropriate images. It's just all that's handled by Gravatar, and you just give it the email address and it gives you back the avatar for that user. Let's see what's involved in adding Gravatar to a Rails application. As you can see here, I have some basic scaffolding set up where I have a user model, and I have 3 user records here, each with a different email address, and I also have an avatar column in this table, and I want to add an avatar image for each of these using Gravatar. Now, there are a number of plugins available for adding Gravatar to Rails, but I think it's so incredibly easy to do from scratch that it's not even worth using a plugin. I think it's even near the same number of lines. Let me show you what's involved here in adding Gravatar to this user's table here that I showed you the view of earlier. So here's that avatar column where I will have that to-do labeled, and I want to add an avatar image for each of these user records here. So I want to add an image tag, and I need to generate a URL to use for the Gravatar image. And to do that, I'm going to create a helper method here called avatar URL, and then just pass in our user record. So inside of the application helper, let's make that new method called avatar URL, and then pass in that user. And in here, we just need to return the URL for that Gravatar image, and that is at gravatar.com, avatar, and then given Gravatar ID. And then with, say, a ping image. Now, creating this Gravatar ID is the only tricky part about this, and it's pretty simple as well. All you have to do is call digest, MD5, hex digest, and then pass in the user's email address, downcased. And that's it. Now you've got an avatar URL through Gravatar. And let's see if this works. We'll just hit reload on this page here, and well, there we go. There's our avatar images. You can see for these 2 email addresses that it recognized, you have my avatar there, and the email address that it did not recognize is just a generic Gravatar avatar there, and we can customize that one as well. There are a number of parameters that you can pass into the Gravatar URL to customize its behavior. You can see so on this image requests documentation page on Gravatar. All you have to do is pass in various options like S, and that'll change the size of the image that's returned. If you pass in the D option and pass in a URL there, it will use that image for its default image instead of the Gravatar one here. And you can pass in an R option to change the rating. And you can also use the secure server option if you're on an SSL side. So for example, we can customize this Gravatar URL here to change the size. We'll say 48. I like that size because it's the same size Twitter uses. And we can use the D option to change the default. Let me assign that to a separate variable here. Let's say our default URL is our root URL with images / guest ping. And we'll supply that by first doing CGI escape on it so that it properly handles it in the URL. So escape that default URL there. And when we reload this page here, there we go. You can see it uses our new size for the avatar images and our custom default one there. I especially like this avatar solution when you pair this up with Omniauth. Now, if you aren't familiar with Omniauth, check out episode number 241 for details. And the reason I like this so much is because if the user signs up through Twitter or Facebook, they're going to already have an avatar image through those services, and that's provided by Omniauth through the user info image option in the hash that's provided. But if they don't have those services or they don't sign in through those services, you can always use Gravatar as a fallback, so that way you have this solid set of avatar images that you can use at your disposal. So in that case, what I like to do is add an avatar URL column to our user model, and you can see I already have one here if I edit a user, and we just supply an image here, and what I want to do is use this avatar when provided. This is really simple to accomplish inside our avatar URL helper here. We'll just see if the user avatar URL is present, and then if it is, we'll use that, and then otherwise we'll fall back to Gravatar here. And there we go. And you can see when we reload this page here, it now uses a different avatar image that I supplied in the avatar URL. So you would just set that avatar URL attribute to whatever is supplied through OmniAuth. In the end, I find this to be a really nice solution that I've used with good success for handling avatar images. And that's it for this episode. I realize it's been on the shorter and simpler side of things, but it's been a busy week for me, and it will be next week too. But after that, I plan to get back into some more in-depth content and episodes. Still, I hope you found this useful.